Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the huge spike in Kamala Harris's favorability rating, which is just in stark contrast with the narrative that we have been reading into over these past few years that Kamala Harris, the vice president, is much less likable and popular than not only Donald Trump, but Joe Biden as well. We thought, during Biden's whole presidency, Kamala Harris's approval rating had been way under Biden's. But now, after Biden dropped out and Kamala Harris is the presumptive Democratic nominee, for whatever reason, she has taken a huge dramatic spike in the favorability ratings, and she now appears to be a very strong electoral candidate nationwide. So looking at this new poll, this is a poll for Kamala Harris's favorability rating, obviously. Now, in this poll from Morning Consult, 50% of respondents said that they approve of her, while 46% say they disapprove of her. Now, that is a 7% increase from 5 days ago, July 24th. And the disapproval has taken a hit of 5%. It has gone down 5% in 5 days. Now, even these numbers, even Kamala Harris being at 43% approval and 51% disapproval, even that was down from a few weeks prior, before Kamala Harris was at all being considered as a presidential candidate, after, of course, there was consideration by Joe Biden to drop out of the race. So, this favorability rating skyrocket is something that we have really never seen in American history. The tide is turning in this election so fast. I mean, for years on end now, months on end, I guess, to be more exact, Kamala Harris trailed Donald Trump by so much in every single poll conducted. She did, in the same exact poll, she would do far worse than Joe Biden in that hypothetical head-to-head against Trump, and her favorability, her approval rating, was always well below Donald Trump's and Joe Biden's. But suddenly, since she has become the presumptive Democratic nominee, whatever it may be, Americans watching her speak on the news, her social media presence, which has already, been critical to the startup and excitement around her campaign, whatever it may be, Americans hearing more about her, she is now, loved, it seems like, by the American people, at least speaking relatively to Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So, again, we have never seen, at least in my lifetime so far, a presidential election, change so much. And I'm not even talking about going from Biden to Harris, but even the Sunday when Kamala Harris became the presumptive Democratic nominee, when Joe Biden dropped out. This was last Sunday now, or 2 Sundays ago, I should say. Even then, it did not appear that Kamala Harris could beat Trump, and then in a matter of days, Kamala Harris has been able to skyrocket her favorability rating and actually beat Trump in some of these polls. There was a poll released today, or yesterday actually, the 16th, or the 26th through the 28th, and this is a national general election, and Kamala Harris beats Trump by a point. Now, mind you, this is not the Electoral College, and that's a whole nother ballgame, but that was not even a possibility some months ago. This pollster is not reputable. SoCal, we don't talk about that at all. But this is New Hampshire now. Kamala Harris is matching 2020 Biden numbers in a state like New Hampshire. Now it looks like in all of the new polls that were released, Harris doesn't even have to worry about these blue states that were looking competitive with Biden as the nominee, like New Hampshire, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Virginia, for example, as well as Maine. So Kamala Harris somehow just changing the tide of this election, turning the tide of this election in just a matter of days. And I do want to bring up, she is down on the national average by 2.5% in this aggregate. Now, I remind you, we can go into the specifics of these polls. If I had my own average of polls, I would take out some of these polls, specifically Rasmussen, which is just a completely right-leaning organization that has Trump up 7, an absolute outlier, which boosts Trump in the average. That's the point of Rasmussen reports. That's what they do. But even besides that, Donald Trump having a 2.5% lead. On average, if the election were held tomorrow and the actual results were somewhere around this result, that would not be very good for Kamala Harris, because for Democrats to win the Electoral College, they have to at least win the popular vote by around 2 percentage points. So being down by 2.5, definitely not good. She has some ground to make up. But I will mind you, this is a week and a day into Kamala Harris's campaign. This is a week and a day, and she has already gone down, or she has already gone up from being down some 6, almost 7 percentage points, which was just July 10th, to now, in 2 weeks, about making it a 2.5% lead for Trump. So she is clearly narrowing this race big time. And remember, again, this is so early into Kamala Harris's campaign, while Donald Trump has spent years garnering this support in polls. He has spent years now. You can even go back to 2016 and 2020, but he launched his 2024 presidential campaign in I think it was November of 2022. It has now almost been 2 years, and Kamala Harris is a week and a day into her campaign, and she's already down, and she's only down 2.5 already. Now the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, hasn't happened yet. Candidate always gets a boost from that. Kamala Harris has not picked her running mate. That is hugely important, and her bench is a good bench of candidates. All of them will help the ticket. I think she should go with Tim Walz, personally. You've got the debates, which Trump might back out of now. I still think it's most likely that they do happen at some point. But you've got the debates. I believe that Harris would crush Trump in a debate. So Kamala Harris is somehow already down 2.5 when all of these events in the future are going to happen that will boost her numbers big time. She has so much room to grow, while Donald Trump has proven that he cannot really get above his 47 or 48% that he gets in elections, while Kamala Harris, at this rate, she will crush Trump. This is my current map. I think that Harris pulls out a very narrow victory, winning Georgia and Pennsylvania by tilt margins, as well as carrying the state of Michigan by about 1.5 points, as well as all the blue states. But that's still a narrow victory. But, at this rate, Kamala Harris would crush Trump. Obviously, it won't continue at this rate, but whatever Kamala Harris is doing right, or whatever she is doing, it is right, and she needs to continue on with that. She has so much room to expand, it seems like, and, her game is spot on. So the Trump campaign, of course, is worrying big time, especially about their VP pick, because they picked him when they were at the height of their chances, when they looked unstoppable, the Trump campaign. Again, that was Biden as the nominee. It looked like they couldn't lose at that time, so they went with a loyalty pick, so he didn't have another Mike Pence situation on a January 6th situation. Now that was, way overconfident, and now they are really starting to worry. There was even a report that J.D. Vance told donors or some insiders that even he was worried about their chances in November. So J.D. Vance only hurts the ticket. His approval rating is, in the gutter. And the Trump campaign has some serious, not ground to make up, really, because they still lead, and if the election was held tomorrow, but they need to make sure that they do not lose any of the support that they have. Make sure that none of their support erodes to Kamala Harris. So thank you all for watching this video. If you all enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe down below. It helps out a lot. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before Election Day, so let's make sure that happens. Again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.